Welcome back to Animal Story Channel, where we explore the deepest hidden emotions and silent languages of our beloved canine companions. Have you ever looked deep into your dog's eyes and truly believed they were crying real tears, just like a human? It is a heartbreaking sight that instantly triggers our human empathy, making us want to hug and comfort them immediately. However, science tells us a very different story about how our furry friends process and express their complex inner sadness. Unlike humans, dogs do not produce liquid tears as a direct emotional response to their feelings of grief or sadness. When you see tears streaming down a dog's face, it is usually a physical reaction rather than an emotional one. Their tear ducts function primarily to keep the eyes lubricated and to flush out any irritating dust or foreign debris. If your dog is constantly tearing up, it might actually be a sign of an eye infection or blocked ducts. Certain breeds are more prone to blocked tear ducts, leading to those familiar dark stains we often see on fur. So if they do not cry with tears, how do they express the deep sadness that we know they feel? For dogs, crying is an auditory experience, expressed through a variety of vocal sounds, like whining, whimpering, and low growls. This behavior starts from the moment they are born, using sound to communicate distress to their mother and littermates effectively. As they grow older, this vocalization evolves into a tool for communicating with their human pack leaders regarding their needs. These sounds are their version of crying, a direct signal that they are feeling anxious, lonely, or in physical pain. Scientific studies show that the canine brain processes emotions in a way that is remarkably similar to a human child. Let us talk about that famous wet look, the one that melts our hearts and makes us forgive every mistake. Evolution has actually gifted dogs a special facial muscle that allows them to raise their inner eyebrows to mimic humans. This is a feature their wolf ancestors do not possess, developed specifically to communicate and bond with the human species. This movement makes their eyes appear larger and more infant-like, triggering a nurturing response in our human brains instantly. They have learned over thousands of years that this specific look gets them attention, affection, and often a tasty treat. However, genuine sadness in dogs is often triggered by separation, as they are naturally social animals who need their pack. When left alone, a dog's crying is a distress signal, calling out to the pack members who have suddenly vanished. They seek out your scent on clothes or shoes, trying to maintain a connection to you while you are away. Howling is another form of crying, a long-distance telephone call intended to locate other members of their social group. This behavior is deeply rooted in their DNA, a survival mechanism used by their ancestors to gather the pack together. Sadness in dogs also manifests in behavioral changes that are far more subtle than loud crying or visible wet tears. Loss of appetite is a major indicator of depression, showing that their emotional state is affecting their basic survival instincts. If your usually active dog suddenly spends all day sleeping and refuses to play, they might be mourning or depressed. Body language tells the truth. A tucked tail and flattened ears are the canine equivalent of slumped shoulders and crying. Obsessive licking is a self-soothing behavior, similar to how a nervous human might bite their nails or pace around. Environmental changes, lack of exercise, or a sudden disruption in routine can all trigger these depressive episodes in dogs. Moving to a new home can be traumatic, causing them to cry out for the familiarity and safety of the past. They grieve the loss of a companion deeply, often searching the house and crying out for a friend who is gone. During these times, your comfort and presence are the only things that can help them navigate their overwhelming feelings of loss. Fear is another emotion that looks like crying. Trembling and hiding are their way of coping with overwhelming, scary situations. Loud noises like fireworks can cause acute stress, leading to vocal crying that is often mistaken for bad behavior. Panting when not hot or tired is a subtle cry for help, indicating that their stress levels have spiked significantly. Even working dogs experience emotional burnout and need time to decompress and recover from the heavy stress of their duties. Understanding these signs allows us to intervene with play, exercise, and love, turning their sadness back into tail-wagging joy. However, we must be careful not to mistake a cry of physical pain for simple emotional sadness or attention-seeking. Sudden vocalizations or behavioral changes can be the first warning sign of an underlying injury or a developing illness. If your dog cries when touched or moves reluctantly, it is time to visit the vet rather than offering treats. Puppies often cry due to teething pain, a temporary phase that requires patience and appropriate chew toys to help soothe. Senior dogs may cry due to confusion or dementia, getting lost in their own homes and calling out for help. Your voice is a powerful tool. Speaking in a calm, low tone can help regulate their nervous system and emotions. The bond between human and dog is built on this mutual understanding of feelings, even without the use of words. When they look at us with those soulful eyes, their brain releases oxytocin, the love hormone, strengthening our emotional connection. They are experts at reading our emotions, often trying to comfort us when we cry, mirroring our feelings back to us. This empathy is a two-way street. They feel what we feel, so our own stress can sometimes make them cry. Creating a calm, stable environment is the best way to prevent emotional distress and keep your dog happy and balanced. Sometimes they cry in their sleep, chasing dream rabbits, or reliving the day's adventures in the safety of their slumber. It is best to let sleeping dogs lie, as waking them abruptly from a dream can cause confusion or fear. Socialization helps them learn the difference between a play cry and a real cry, building confidence in the world. Shelter dogs often cry from the trauma of abandonment, needing extra patience and love to heal their broken emotional hearts. With time and security, the crying stops, replaced by the joyful sounds of a dog who knows they are safe. Remember that not all vocalizations are crying. Some are warnings, alerts, or simply expressions of excitement and high energy. Some dogs even sing along to music, a quirky behavior that is more about joining the fun than feeling sad. The maternal instinct to respond to crying is strong, ensuring the survival of the next generation of loyal companions. Physical touch helps release tension and reassures a crying dog that they are not alone in their moment of distress. Exercise is a natural antidepressant for dogs, releasing endorphins that combat the feelings of sadness that lead to crying. Mental stimulation is just as important. A bored dog is a sad dog, so keep their minds active and engaged. Their understanding of the world is different from ours, but their emotional capacity is vast and worthy of our respect. By learning to read their subtle facial cues, we can understand what they are saying without them uttering a single sound. That deep sigh they give when laying down is usually a sign of relaxation, the opposite of a cry for help. Talk to your dog. They may not understand every word, but they understand the tone of love and safety you provide. Never punish a dog for crying or whining out of fear, as this will only increase their anxiety and distress. Instead, reward calm behavior and provide a safe space where they can retreat when the world becomes too overwhelming. From puppyhood to their golden years, their way of expressing needs changes, but their need for your love remains constant. They trust us to interpret their cries and to be their guardians, advocates, and best friends in a confusing human world. So next time you see those wet eyes or hear a whine, listen closely with your heart, not just your ears. They are communicating in the only way they know how, asking for the reassurance that only you can provide them. Remember, tears are usually physical, but the voice and body language are the true windows to their emotional soul. By understanding the truth about dog tears, we become better owners, deeper companions, and true heroes to our pets. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey into the mind and heart of man's best friend today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Animal Story Channel for more touching stories. See you in the next video.